Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Tuesday, March 8th, 2022. Very quick show today. College basketball, NBA, NHL, and then we're going to do two activities. NFL offseason predictions and Masked Singer shock ranks, which means like the most surprised I was for each contestant. News and notes and best bet. We'll do college basketball really quickly. We'll go over the results from last night, and we will look ahead to tonight's window of games. Delaware over Towson 69-56 in the CAA semifinal. Summit League semifinal. South Dakota State over South Dakota 83-60. Horizon League semifinal. Wright State over Cleveland State 82-67. Sun Belt final. Georgia State over Louisiana 80-71. SoCon final. Chattanooga over Furman 63-64 in overtime on a buzzer beater 3 by David Jean Baptist. UNC Wilmington over Charleston 60-57. In the CAA semifinal. West Coast semifinal. Number 1 Gonzaga over San Francisco, 81-71. Summit semifinal. North Dakota State over Oral Roberts, 92-72. Horizon League semifinal. Northern Kentucky over Purdue Fort Wayne, 57-43. And WCC semifinal number 17, St. Mary's over Santa Clara, 75-72. All right, to today's games. 2 o'clock ACC Network from the Barkley Center. Boston College Pitt. ACC first round. Projection, Pitt by an eighth, total 132.5. And it is BC by 2, total 128.5. I'm taking Pitt plus the 2 and plus 108 outright. 4:30 NC State Clemson, ACC first round Barkley Center. My projection is Clemson by 3 1/4, total 144 and 3/5, and it's 5 and 144. Slightly in the NC State. 5 o'clock MAC first round Rider Manhattan. My projection for this one is Rider by 1/3, total 140, and it's 1 and 137.5. Over. Jacksonville Bellarmine, ASUN Championship, 5 o'clock ESPN2. My projection is Bellarmine by 3 3/4, total 131 and a 5th, and it's 2.5 and 122.5. Over. And by the way, if Bellarmine wins this game, Jacksonville State goes to the big dance. Very wacky, I know. NEC final, Wagner Bryant. My projection is Bryant by 3/4, total 145 and 2/5. This game is 7 o'clock ESPN2, and it's 4.5 and 149.5. I'm going to go with Wagner in the points. CAA final, 7 o'clock CBS Sports Network, Delaware, Wilmington from Entertainment Sports Arena. My projection is Delaware by 2 3/4, total 141 and 65/100. And it's 2 and 134. Over. ESPN 7 o'clock, Wright State, Northern Kentucky, Horizon League final. My projection is a pick'em in 140 and 3/5. And we got Northern Kentucky by 1, total 134.5. Over. ACC first round, Georgia Tech, Louisville on the ACC Network. My projection is Louisville by 1 and 7/8, total 138 and 5/100. And it's 1.5 and 135. Over. Metro Atlantic first round, Kanibiak Maris. My projection is... Wait. Okay. I was looking at the wrong game. My bad. Canisius Fairfield. My projection is Fairfield by 7 1/4, so 136 and 7/10. That's weird. All right, so projection. My... Fairfield by 7 1/4, till 136 and 7/10. Sorry, I lost myself there. For some reason, the MAC isn't showing. Here we go. 2.5 and 132. I'm going to lay the points with Fairfield. All right, next up, Marshall FIU, 7:30, CUSA first round. My projection is Marshall by 1, total 145 and 9/10, and it's 3.5 and 148. I'm going to go with the under. Southern Miss UTSA, 8 o'clock. My projections, UTSA by 3 and 7/8, total 138 and 9/10. And it's 3.5 and 138.5. Very close. I'll go slight over. 9 o'clock, ESPN, number 17, St. Mary's, and number 1, Gonzaga from Orleans Arena. My projections, Gonzaga by only 3 and 5/8, total 141 and 65/100. And for some reason, I don't see this game on here. And this is probably the most important game of the entire evening. And it's not posted yet, which is very strange because it's Gonzaga and it's St. Mary's. It's a big game. Here we go. 12.5 and 141.5 on DraftKings. Taking St. Mary's in the points. That's easy. Quinnipiac Marist. 5 1/8, total 140 and 7/8, and it's 2.5 and 139.5. Laying the points. Bakersfield Northridge. My projection is Northridge by 5 1/4, total 131 and 45 and it's 5 and 128.5. So I'll go with the over. Texas Rio Grande Cal Baptist. My projection is Baptist by 7 1/8, total 144 and 5,500. So obviously we're talking Big West and then now WAC, and it's 6.5 and 148.5. Under. ESPN2 Summit League Championship, North Dakota State, South Dakota State. Projection, South Dakota State by 5 3/4, total 151 and 9/10. And it's 5.5 and 150.5. Slight over. 11:30, Big West first round, Cal Poly UC Davis. My projection is UC Davis by 9 3/8, total 132 and 3/500, and it's 5.5 and 127. Over. And last but not least, WAC first round, Chicago State, Utah Valley. My projection is Utah Valley by 15 and 3/8, total 136 and a fifth, and it's 12.5 and 132.5. I'll go lay the points with Utah Valley. I just don't trust Chicago State. All right, now I'll move on to the NBA. We'll recap the games from last night and look ahead to tonight's games. Pistons over the Hawks 113-110 in overtime. Sixers over the Bulls 121-106. Heat over the Rockets 123-126 or 106. Wolves over the Blazers 124-81. Mavs over the Jazz 111-103. Spurs over the Lakers 117-110. Nuggets over the Warriors 131-124, and the Knicks over the Kings 131-115. Only 6 games tonight. Nets Hornets at 7 o'clock. My projection is Charlotte by 2.5, total 224 and a fifth. And Brooklyn's actually favored in this game by 3, total 239.5. I'm changing how I do the totals starting on tomorrow's podcast, but I'm going to go Hornets plus the 3 and plus 134 outright. I think they beat Brooklyn. Something's off with that team. But I'm actually going to go with the under as the podcast pick, but that would have been my pick if I didn't go with the total. Cavs Pacers, my projection is Cavs by 1, total 216 and a quarter, and it is 3 and 223 under. Suns Magic, my projection is Suns by 4 and a quarter, total 217 and 9/10, and it's 6 and 223, another under. 8 o'clock Pelicans, or 7:30 TNT Pelicans Grizzlies. Not a bad game for TNT. Memphis 12.5, total 219 and 9,500, and it's 5.5 and 231.5. I'm gonna lay the points with the Grizzlies. That's low. Bucks Thunder 8 o'clock. My projection is Milwaukee by 10 3/4, total 217 and 9/10, and it's 14 and 231. Taking the under. TNT Clippers Warriors 10 o'clock. My projection is Golden State by 3 3/4, so 215 and 3,500, and it's 6.5 and 222. I'm gonna take the Clippers getting the points. All right, NHL. We'll look back on the games from last night and look ahead to the games for tonight. Kings over the Bruins 3-2 in overtime. Panthers over the Sabres 6-1. Leafs over the Blue Jackets 5-4. Avs over the Islanders 5-4. Flames over the Oilers 3-1. All right, tonight's games, a big window. 7 o'clock, Avs Devils. Avs minus 215, Devils plus 176, over under 6, overs minus 128, unders plus 104. Avs minus 1 half is plus 118, Devils plus 1 half is minus 144. I'm going to go, this is a tough one. I'm going to lay the 1.5 of the Avalanche. Golden Knights Flyers. Vegas minus 178, Flyers plus 146, over under 6, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Vegas minus 1 half is plus 146, Flyers plus 1 half is minus 180. I'm going to go with the over. Panthers Penguins. Panthers minus 114, Penguins minus 105, over under 6.5, minus 110 each way. Panthers minus 1 half is plus 220, Penguins plus 1 half is minus 280. I'm going to go with the Penguins as a slight home underdog. Kraken Maple Leafs. Leafs minus 300, Kraken plus 240, over under 6.5, overs plus 102, unders minus 124. Kraken plus 1 half is minus 105. Maple Leafs minus 1 half is minus 115. I'm going to go with the over. I really like the over at plus money here. Coyotes Red Wings. Red Wings minus 188, Coyotes plus 155, over under 6, minus 110 each way. Coyotes plus 1 half is minus 172. Wings minus 1 half is plus 140. This is a bad game. I like the under. 8 o'clock, Sens Blues. Blues minus 300, Sens plus 240, over under 6.5, overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Sens plus 1 half is minus 110, Blues minus 1 half is minus 110. I'm going to do the kind of like that over too at plus 104. Stars Predators. Preds minus 175, Stars plus 104, over under 5.5, overs minus 118, unders minus 104. Stars plus 1 half is minus 265, Preds minus 1 half is plus 210. I'm going to go. This is a tough one. I like Dallas. I kind of think they're going to win this game. Rangers Wild. Wild minus 150, Rangers plus 125, over under 6, overs minus 120, unders minus 102. Rangers plus 1 half is minus 220, Wild minus 1 half is plus 176. I'm taking the Vezina front runner right now, and Igor Shesterkin, and the Rangers as a plus 125 road underdog. And you could argue that they should be a dog in this spot, but I just think that they're going to win. Lightning Jets. Lightning minus 172, Jets plus 142, over under 6.5, overs plus 106, unders minus 130. Lightning minus 1 half is plus 152, Jets plus 1 half is minus 188. I like the over in this one too, plus 106. 8:30, Ducks Blackhawks. Blackhawks minus 125, Ducks plus 104, over under 6, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Ducks plus 1 half is minus 265, Blackhawks minus 1 half is plus 210. I like the Ducks as a big they're like not a big underdog, they're a slight underdog, but it's a big differential in points, and I don't know why they're an underdog here. There must be some injuries, but I like the Ducks. 9 o'clock, Capitals Flames. Flames minus 140, Caps plus 116, over under 6.5, overs plus 108, unders minus 132. Caps plus 1 half is minus 230, Flames minus 1 half is plus 184. I'm going with another over. All these overs at plus money, I think, are really, really strong value. All right, now I'm going to do NFL offseason predictions. I'm just going to go team by team in alphabetical order, and I'll share my NFL offseason prediction for each team. So it's going to be fun, and it's going to be interesting to see what plays out. All right, the Arizona Cardinals. My bold prediction for them is, despite rumors, I think that Kyler Murray sticks around, and I think that they will sign him to a contract extension. The Atlanta Falcons. This is a tough one. Obviously, the Calvin Ridley thing we'll get into in news and notes, which opens up a hole for them at wide receiver. I think that they are going to go hard after some of these wide receivers that are going to be on the free agent market are going to be available via trade. And they need like a rock star, somebody that's really good. And there's also the draft that they could look to for wide receiver. And that's where I think they're going to go. And I think they're going to draft one of the two, Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave. I mean, I don't know if they're going to trade up, trade down, but I think one of the soon-to-be former Ohio State wide receivers is going to be on the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to say it's Chris Olave. The Baltimore Ravens, this is a good one. They have some questions this offseason, but I'm going to say they do not extend Lamar Jackson yet. So we're going to go into the season this year, and Lamar Jackson won't be extended long term. The Buffalo Bills, my prediction for them is that they will sign Braxton Berrios away from the New York Jets. I think that Braxton Berrios will still be in the AFC East. And the Bills, I think, could use another wide receiver, and that would be a good fit. Carolina, this is an interesting one. They're going to be in the market for quarterbacks, obviously, as they want to upgrade at that position. There's so many guys available via trade or free agency, but I'm going to say they look to the draft, and I'm going to say they draft Ole Miss's Matt Corral. That just screams somebody that Matt Rule would like. Offensive whiz, played in the SEC, put up a lot of stats. That just screams Matt Rule type of guy, Matt Corral. The Chicago Bears. This is an interesting one. They have a lot of things to take care of. And a potential hole on their team is wide receiver. And I'm going to say they're the team that makes a push for a wide receiver. And spoiler alert, I do not have Allen Robinson going back there. I don't know if they will get somebody via trade or free agency. And the one receiver that I can see them signing is Pittsburgh's Juju Smith-Schuster. I just think that Juju might want a new little change of scenery, and he's been in big games, so he's a nice little veteran. He's not really a vet yet, but I could see him going to Chicago. The Cincinnati Bengals. I'm going to say that they extend Jesse Bates. They have to do it. He was a big part of that defense that overachieved this past year to help him go to the Super Bowl along with the heroics of Joe Burrow. So I'm going to say that he extend Jesse Bates. The Cleveland Browns will sign Allen Robinson. Yes. That's who I have them signing. I could just totally see them going out and making a splash for a wide receiver. They lost Odell Beckham Jr. They still have Jarvis Landry. But outside of Landry, who they might get rid of anyway, they really don't have a solid option there. The Dallas Cowboys will sign Sammy Watkins. There's a couple big names that I could see them cutting. And I think that Sammy Watkins would be a good fit in Dallas as like a number 2 type of wide receiver. And you may be surprised to see where I have who I think will be a soon-to-be former Dallas Cowboy. Or not. The Denver Broncos, here we go. The Denver Broncos finally will acquire Aaron Rodgers from the Green Bay Packers. They'll do everything to get their guy. And I think that they land him. They'll give up their first-round pick this year, the first-round pick next year, a third this year, a second in 2024, and KJ Hamler. And that's the trade. And Green Bay recoups and Denver goes to being a mediocre team to being a Super Bowl contender. The Detroit Lions, they're not very good, as we know. They're an interesting cause. They have a lot of needs on their team. There's going to be a lot of talk about Jared Goff, I think. But I don't think that they will move him yet. But I could see a world where they draft a quarterback. And the quarterback, I can see them drafting. I don't know where in the draft they could potentially take this player. But I can see them going with Malik Willis from Liberty. I think that he's a quarterback that I think gets some pub. And I think he can learn and grow from Jared Goff. Okay. Next up is the Green Bay Packers. I have Rodgers getting traded. I think this team blows up. And there's a quarterback out there, or that could potentially be out there for them to bring in. I'm not going to give away who it is. So instead, I am going to predict that they will draft the quarter. Actually, no, they won't draft the quarterback. Never mind. I'm going to say that they continue to blow up their roster, and somebody else that I could see potentially on the move is David Bakhtiari, who has been Aaron Rodgers' blind spot on that offensive line for years. And I'm going to say that the team that acquires him is the Carolina Panthers, who have a hole on the opposite tackle position aside of Taylor Moton. So I'm going to say he goes to Carolina. Houston. They're interesting. My prediction for them is that they won't trade Deshaun Watson. I just don't know who really wants him. And maybe they work things out. Maybe they release him. I think it's crazy to some people that they may not trade Watson. So I'm going to say that they don't trade him. And that's a wild prediction. And then maybe they wait until the trade deadline to trade him. And then whoever gets him at the trade deadline. If it's like, say the Giants are off to like a roughish start and Daniel Jones is awful. Like, can you see them going out and get Deshaun Watson at the trade deadline? Or maybe they're decent despite Daniel Jones being bad. Or I can think of some other scenarios here of like Watson potentially being out. Same thing with Miami and Tua Tagovailoa with the Dolphins. That's another interesting one. Like a team with a young quarterback that's in the make or break situation and that quarterback struggles. The two that come to mind are Daniel Jones and Tua Tagovailoa. There could be some more. Maybe Pittsburgh's in play for him late down the road. You never know. But I'm going to say that Deshaun Watson is not traded this offseason and maybe at the deadline in the fall. The Indianapolis Colts will release Carson Wentz, and Wentz goes to the Packers. There you go. I told you guys that I had Green Bay acquiring or getting another veteran quarterback to be in there with Jordan Love. The Jacksonville Jaguars take a wide receiver on day 3. Oh, wait. I was reading something wrong. they won't take a wide receiver on day 3 to draft. Maybe they will. Who knows? But I was reading off of 2021 predictions. Oops. But I have them signing a wide receiver in free agency, and his name is Davante Adams. Yes, I have Davante Adams leaving the Packers and signing with the Jaguars to be Trevor Lawrence's guy, as they're going to try to be the Bengals of 2022. The Kansas City Chiefs will acquire Brandon Cooks from the Houston Texans for a 4th-round pick. I like that for them. Los Angeles Chargers, this is a good one. I'm going to say they extend Mike Williams. Mike Williams is a really polarizing wide receiver. He's been so up and down, but I think he's trending up. And I think they got to keep him. The Los Angeles Rams will convince Aaron Donald to come back. Von Miller and Odell Beckham Jr. will both be back as well. Odell on a 2-year deal and Von Miller on a 2-year deal. And I think Aaron Donald becomes the highest paid defensive player in NFL history. The Las Vegas Raiders will extend Derek Carr. I think that Carr is kind of underrated. And I think that with a good team around him, he can succeed, as we saw last year. The Miami Dolphins will sign Chandler Jones in free agency. Miami likes to make big splashes. I don't think Jones returns to the Cardinals, so that's a good fit. The Minnesota Vikings will sign DeMarcus Lawrence away from the Dallas Cowboys after he is released. I think that he will get released, or maybe he's traded to the Vikings. Who knows? But I'm going to say that he ends up on the Minnesota Vikings somehow. The New England Patriots will sign Amari Cooper after he's released from the Dallas Cowboys. So that's back-to-back predictions with the player being cut from the Dallas Cowboys to sign with the respective teams that I had back-to-back there with Minnesota and New England. So I'm very fascinated to see how that plays out. New Orleans will acquire Jimmy Garoppolo from the San Francisco 49ers for Trevor Siemian, just so they could have a backup for Trey Lance, a 3rd-round pick, and then the Saints also get a 6th in the deal. So I think that's fair on both sides. And then the Saints get a quarterback. This next one breaks my heart, but I think that they're going to do it. The New York Giants will trade Saquon Barkley to the Arizona Cardinals for a 2022 2nd-round pick and a 2023 4th-round pick, and the Cardinals will also take on a 2021 5th in the deal. I think Zona wants big stars and to keep Kyler Murray happy, so I could see them making a push for the Giants running back. The New York Jets have a lot of holes on their roster. Especially along the offensive line and the defensive line. I'm going to say that they signed Matt Paredes to be the man in the middle of the offensive line. And that's a good fit, too. The Philadelphia Eagles. This is a very interesting one. My prediction for the Philadelphia Eagles this offseason is that they will trade Gardner Minshew to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 4th-round pick. I think that Pittsburgh doesn't really want to make the big splash at quarterback because I think they have a good enough team to get away with a mediocre at worst quarterback. And Gardner Minshew, he could be mediocre at best or mediocre at worst. He's like an Alex Smith type. So I could see that. Speaking of the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're up. I have them drafting Kenny Pickett. This just makes sense to me. The Pitt quarterback goes to the Steelers. It's just Storybrooke right there. San Francisco. This is a good one. Like I said, I have them trading away Jimmy Garoppolo, as I discussed earlier. Something else that I have them doing is extending Deebo Samuel. I think that he's amazing and he is deserving of a contract extension. The Seattle Seahawks will not trade Russell Wilson. I think that they want to keep him. They're very adamant about it, and I think they're going to be holding up to their promise. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is a very interesting one, obviously. I'm going to say that they draft Sam Howell. Obviously, no more Brady. Maybe they bring in a veteran. I don't think they'll bring Jameis back. That'd be too weird. But I'm going to say they bring in a veteran. Maybe it's Teddy Bridgewater or something. And I'm going to say that they draft Sam Howell. I like that fit for Tampa Bay. The Tennessee Titans will sign J.C. Jackson away from the New England Patriots. I really like that prediction a lot. And I think that they could use some more bodies in the secondary as it was exposed a little bit throughout the year. So I'm going to say that they signed J.C. Jackson away from New England, plus the Vrabel connection right there as well. And then the Washington Commanders. This is an interesting little team for this offseason. And they can go in a variety different of directions here. It'd be funny if they brought in Carson Wentz. But I'm going to say that they stay away. And it would be very Washington of them to do that. But I'm going to say they bring in Cam Newton. I know I've kind of been on this drum for a while. Reunite Cam and Ron Rivera. And Cam will be the quarterback for the Washington Commanders in 2022. All right, so that's it for the off-season predictions portion of the podcast. And now I'm going to do Masked Singer shock value rankings, which is how surprised I was for each contestant in its show's history, with season 7 approaching tomorrow. All right. 91 Gladys Knight. I mean, come on. Gladys, you knew it was her. And it just makes a lot of sense. And this is just Masked Singer. I didn't throw in the Masked Dancer contestant, so I apologize for that. So I just did Masked Singer only. Number 90's Gronk. I just think that Gronk was just a no-brainer. 89 Dionne Warwick. By the way, Gladys Knight was the bee. Gronk was White Tiger. Dionne Warwick was the mouse. 88 Busta Rhymes. He was the dragon. 87 Patti LaBelle. She was the flower. 86 Chaka Khan. She was Miss Monster. 85 Bret Michaels. That was the banana. 84 Daughtry Rottweiler. 83 LaToya Jackson. The alien. 82 Seal. Seal was just really fun on that show. He was the leopard. 81, Wayne Brady, the Fox. 80, Wendy Williams, Lips. I think she was awful on the show. 79, Bow Wow, the Frog. 78, Joey Fatone, the Rabbit. 77, Adrian Bailon, the Flamingo. 76, Nick Lachey, the Piglet. 75, Nick Carter, Crocodile. 74, Jesse McCartney, Turtle. 73, Omarion. He was the Yeti. 72, Kat McPhee, David Foster, Banana Split. 71, Ricky Lake, Raven. 70, Candy Burris, Night Angel. This is sad. 69, Bob Saget, Squiggly Monster. 68, Hanson. They were the Russian dolls. 67, Raven Simone, Black Widow. 66, Tori Kelly, Seahorse. 65, Dwight Howard. I forgot what Dwight was, honestly. Octopus. 64, Danny Trejo. He was the raccoon. 63, Caitlyn Jenner, the Phoenix. 62, Bobby Brown, the Crab. 61, Jordan Woods, the Kangaroo. 60, Sherry Shepherd, the Penguin. 59, Tori Spelling, the Unicorn. 58, Terry Bradshaw, the deer. 57, Ruth Pointer. She was Cupcake. 56, JoJo. That was Black Swan. 55, Natasha Bedingfield. She was Pepper. 54, Jewel, Queen of Hearts. 53, Leanne Rimes, the Sun. 52, Faith Evans, the Skunk. 51, Lil Wayne, the Robot. That was so much fun. 50, Tyrese Gibson, Robopine. 49, Hunter Hayes. He was the astronaut. 48, Wiz Khalifa. He was what was Wiz that season? I forgot what Wiz was. It was some funky character. Oh, Chameleon. 47, Rob Schneider. He was the hamster. 46, Mickey Rourke. He was probably one of the worst contestants in the history of the show. I think on tomorrow's show, if I have time, I'm going to do Masked Singer like contestant rankings in terms of how good they were. And by the way, Mickey Rourke was Kremlin. Layla Ali, she was the panda. 44, JoJo Siwa. She was T-Rex. Now these are getting up there in terms of the bigger surprises for me. 43, Honey Boo Boo and Mama Jane. They were the worst. Oh my God. They were the beach ball last season. 42, Johnny Weir. He was the egg. 41, Tony Hawk. He was the elephant. 40, Paul Schaefer. He was skeleton. 39, Paul Anka. He was broccoli. 38, Taylor Dane. Popcorn. 37, Dr. Elvis Francois. Oh my God. The only reason why he was on this show was because he was on the quarantine show. He was Serpent. 36, Tamara Mowry. She was the seashell. 35, Mark McGrath. He was Orca. 34, Larry the Cable Guy. He was Baby. 33, Drew Carey. He was the llama. 32, Dr. Drew. He was the Um, what was he? The Eagle. 31, Donny Osmond. He was he was some type of bird, not a pelican. He was a blue bird. Peacock. 30, Nick Cannon, the Bulldog. I mean, this was a surprise for me, and then at the same time, it really wasn't. Now the surprises are getting larger here. 29, Clint Black and Lisa Hartman as the Snow Owls. 28, Tommy Chong. He was Pineapple. 27, Anna Gasteyer. She was Tree. 26, Johnny Rotten. He was Chester. 25, Willie Robertson. He was the Mallard. 24, Todrick Call. He was the Bull. 23, Bobby Burke. He was Caterpillar. 22, Vivica A. Fox. She was Mother Nature. There were a ton of surprises for me last season in Season 6. So maybe that's a good sign for Season 7. 21, Toni Braxton. She was also in Season 6. She was the what was she? Pufferfish. All right, the top 20 surprises for Ann the Masked Singer. 20, Brian Austin Green. That was a pleasant surprise for me, as Bag, Brian Austin Green, was the giraffe. Number 19, Victor Oladipo. He was Thingamajig in Season 2. That came to a surprise for me. Ken Jung got it right. 18, Lonzo Ball. He was the whatchamacallit in Season 4. And that was another one Ken Jung got correct. 17, Margaret Cho, who was the poodle in Season 1. That was Ken Jung's co-star. And he was very stunned that he didn't get it. And I was surprised to see Margaret Cho on there too. 16, Bella Thorne. I was surprised to see her on there in the moment. And the costume pretty much fit her too, the swan. And she was a co-star of Ken Jeong in The Duff. 15, Aloe Black. Very surprised to see that he was Mushroom in Season 4. As Mushroom was the runner-up to the Sun. 14, Chloe Kim. Also in Season 4, she was the jellyfish. 13, Antonio Brown. I mean, come on. I was very surprised on that one. That was the very first unmasking, so he was in Masked Singer history. 12, Ninja. I was very surprised to see Ninja on the show. He was Season 2. He was Ice Cream. And by the way, Antonio Brown was the hippo. 11, Tyga. Tyga was on this past season. Or I'm sorry, it was the... I'm sorry, it wasn't this past season. It was 2 seasons ago. Season 5. He was... Oh, wait, maybe it was Season 6. He was Dalmatian. That's right, he was this past season. 10, T-Pain, Season 1 champion, the monster. I was very surprised that it was T-Pain. Thought it was Darius Rucker. 9, Kelly Osbourne. That was a big stunner. She was Ladybug in Season 2. 8, Tom Bergeron. He was Taco in Season 3. 7th biggest surprise, Donnie Wahlberg is Cloodle Doo. I'm not surprised that he was on the show, but I was surprised in the moment of when he got unmasked. and now it's just a big shocker. And Jenny absolutely lost her mind. 6, Barry Zito, former San Francisco Giants pitcher. He was season 3 as he was Rhino. Top 5 biggest surprises now. Number 5, Rumor Willis. She was the Lion in season 1. I was very stunned that it was Rumor. 4, Jackie Evancho. She was in season 3 as Kitty. And I feel like they only put her on the show because she won Nick Cannon's old show, America's Got Talent. Or the show Nick Cannon used to be on. Number 3, biggest surprise. Mark Sanchez, former New York Jets quarterback. He was Baby Alien. Number 2, Kermit the Frog. He was the snail in season 5. And we are very stunned that a Muppet was on the show. And the number 1 biggest surprise in the history of The Masked Singer, Sarah Palin as the bear in season 3. It was an absolute stunner. Everyone thought it was Tina Fey because she portrayed Sarah Palin on Saturday Night Live, but no, it was Sarah Palin herself. And she was very entertaining. She only was on 1 episode, but it was the biggest surprise contestant in the history of The Masked Singer. And it, quite frankly, isn't even close. All right, now I'm going to do a quick news and notes here. Not a lot to talk about. We hinted at it in the NFL offseason prediction segment, but the Falcons, Calvin Ridley got suspended a whole year because he gambled on NFL games. Like I said, that's a big loss for the Falcons, and the question is, what's next? The Dolphins tagged Mike Gesicki, so that's good. Bucs and Chris Godwin working on a long-term deal, and they want to. They will use the franchise tag if they can't agree today, and that's why I almost picked the go to the Bears instead of Juju Smith-Schuster, but I didn't have the balls to pull the trigger. Russell Westbrook gets into it with the fan. Don't disrespect my name, he says. Falcons refused to trade Ridley. I think they should have traded Ridley. Von Miller teases Broncos return. That would be crazy. Matt Stafford can get a big record contract extension. It could go as high as $45 million a year, which is just stupid. He's not that good. Major League Baseball is going to cancel another week of games potentially if they don't get an agreement done today. So today's a big day for that, and obviously we'll talk about more on that on tomorrow's show. We really don't have time to go over everything. Browns tag David Njoku. Bengals tag Jesse Bates. Kyler Murray wants clarity by draft in terms of his future at the Cardinals. Draymond Green targeting return March 14th, so that is good news for the Warriors. Oklahoma to reveal Baker Mayfield statue on April 23rd at the Sooner Spring Game. That's awesome. Bruins and Rangers kick tires on Claude Giroux. I think he's going to be a hot commodity at the deadline. We'll see who lands him. I think Pittsburgh's going to be in play for him too. All those big teams. The Rays made a run at Freddie Freeman before the lockout. That's wild. There's a lot of people think that there's a possibility he leaves the Braves. I don't think so. That'd be wild. That'd be like Albert Pujols leaving the Angels, but that did happen, so it can't be ruled out. The Stanley Cup has a new logo, as the playoffs logo just got a rebrand, so that is pretty cool. I suggest you guys check it out. The NFL sets salary cap at $208.2 million, as the cap increases $25.7 million. So that is good news. And then the final AP poll before March Madness is out. I'm just go straight 1 through 25. Gonzaga, Arizona, Baylor, Auburn, Kentucky, Kansas, Duke, Villanova, Purdue, Tennessee. Purdue and Tennessee, by the way, tied for 9th. Providence, Wisconsin, UCLA, Texas Tech, Arkansas. Illinois, St. Mary's, Houston, Murray State, UConn. USC, Texas, Colorado State, Iowa, North Carolina. So, North Carolina belongs in the rankings, especially after beating Duke, and they've been playing a lot better as well. And 2 more non-sports news things. Joe Biden expected to ban Russian oil imports and will speak from the White House in about an hour. And Pamela Anderson to make Broadway debut in Chicago next month. So that is very interesting. All right. Best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I had a game in mind, and for some reason, it wasn't on FanDuel. And if it's on FanDuel, I am going to pull the plug on it. For some reason, it's not. So I'm going to go to DraftKings and do it because I liked it so much. I think St. Mary's is going to cover against Gonzaga. I think Gonzaga knows that's in the tournament, knows it's going to be a 1 seed. Probably the number 1 overall seed, regardless of the results. St. Mary's, I think, wants to really make a push here, and so it's going to be interesting to see. So I'm going to lay a couple units on St. Mary's against Gonzaga as my best bet of the day. So there you have it on today's show. I'll be back tomorrow recapping everything, looking ahead to everything tomorrow. We'll preview Masked Singer. I'll give out my predictions on who's going to be on the show this season. I will do the potentially do the contestant rankings on how they performed on the show as well. So, I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.